美國國會參議院批准咗一項為政府運作暫時提供資金嘅妥協案，避免咗聯邦政府響呢個財政年度星期五結束嘅時候關門嘅局面。民主黨控制嘅參議院星期一晚就係以79票贊成、12票反對嘅投票結果通過咗一項臨時開支案，維持政府運轉到11月18號。而之前議員就多日嚟一直喺度進行閉門嘅磋商，以便打破兩黨目前響政府開支、赤字以及稅收問題上邊嘅僵局。參議院仲批准咗另外一項維持到10月4號嘅短期開支決議。呢項議案必須獲得共和黨控制嘅眾議院批准，以便讓政府繼續運轉。美國總統奧巴馬響加利福尼亞州嘅一個市民大會上邊就表示，國會嘅意識形態分歧正在阻礙咗美國政府解決自身嘅問題。
A government shutdown was averted for the third time this year. Are you fed up with this bipartisanship?
Well, I think the bipartisanship is a little bit one-sided. I think that the Republicans are working off a philosophy, and they're not really working off the reality that's around them.
Which philosophy is that? How would you describe it?
Well, that things should be a certain way, that there should be no deficit, that the government shouldn't be involved. It just seems like from my point of view, it seems pretty unrealistic.
You have, I guess, two parties in Congress. It seems to me that a huge portion of it should be compromised. I mean, you know, we teach kids to work together, be team players, and we have individuals in Congress that are not willing to be team players.
So what do you think really is at the heart of the political standoffs in Congress?
Well, it's probably many things. A lot of it has to do with ideology. You know, we believe in smaller government and more for the private sector to do its thing. That's what America's about. But on the other hand, people have needs and you have to deal with that. So you have to be socially conscious, but we think that it should be done in by private institution more than the government.
Well, I've worked for the government here, both for the General Accounting Office, which is under the Congress, and in a regular department agency. And this business of not passing the budget is something we've seen it many, many times. I've also been through shutdowns. It really doesn't help the country for this to happen. So I'm hoping that our leaders will get their act together and do their job.
Right, exactly. Are you fed up with the partisanship?
I actually am, yes.
After all these years working in the government.
Yeah, well, of course, and when you work in the government, you're not partisan in how you do your work, but it's just a matter of taking responsibility for the job of legislators, which is to run the country, not to impede the country being run.
The last-minute decisions generally leave out some important factors, but sometimes it becomes necessary for the good of the nation. But it doesn't always follow through that it's good in all ways, but sometimes you have to do that.
Right.
Just like at home.
Yeah, just like at home.
You have to look at your bank account and say, what do you got to spend and what can you do?
And that's the unfortunate factor of our electoral system, that there's almost no year that isn't an election year, and the election process has gotten longer and longer. And so we seem to be in a bit of a trap right now. I don't see exactly how I'm hoping that some people will get together. I was heartened by Lamar Alexander saying that he was going to quit his party position so that he could be more independent. And I'd rather have people thinking for themselves and doing what's best for the country.